Hello guys, this is the AJ Studios and welcome to How Doctor Who Works, and this week we are looking at my favourite episode, The Age of Steel. This episode is the second part to my favourite episodes. The first part was called The Rise of the Cybermen, which is going to be hopefully linked in the description, if I remember. And this is obviously my favourite episode, so I have massive bias for this episode. But anyway, let's begin. First thing I want to, admire is the fact that this episode actually has a resolution to a cliffhanger that does not involve some inclusive, silly thing, such as The Magician's Apprentice, when it starts with Clara upside down and a lot of explaining to do. This gets straight to the point, shows you what it is, begins on a high note, which is obviously very good. There's a massive change of tone from this first episode. In the first episode, it was very unaware of what was going to happen, and they didn't know what was going to happen, and obviously we didn't know anything really about the plot, and now that we do, it's the full kickoff. The stuff's hit the fan, so there's a massive change of tone, a lot of desperation, I would say, for them to, and a lot of stakes, not desperation, stakes, to be able to fix this problem. The first thing I want to, admire is the fact that this episode actually has a resolution to a cliffhanger that does not involve some inclusive, silly thing, such as The Magician's Apprentice. When it starts with Clara upside down and a lot of explaining to do. This gets straight to the point, shows you what it is, begins on a high note, which is obviously very good. They split up the entire team after a while. They split up the entire team, and this causes them to have their own separate plotline. So imagine a plotline that goes like this, straight, and I think we've had it's been very basic up to this point, and then all of a sudden it springs off and causes them to have three different ways, or three different things going on to find out something, and they slowly begin to wind together and converge together, so the Rose and the Doctor thing connect, and then lead to then Mickey and Jake having to save them, which causes them both to connect and escape. It's that idea is definitely what they should have done for many other episodes, is to keep it simple, basically. Keep it to that sort of idea. Before, all the Mickey and the Jake and all that kind of stuff, during that, there's a brilliant moment when they start to show the Cybermen as human. This never happens again. I know it does, it happens twice. It happens in the finale as well, but the moment when it's just so devastating, when you see that this woman has such a life that she wanted to lead before she was taken and converted into a Cyberman, and it really makes the Doctor really want to defeat these things. And obviously, if the Doctor wants to defeat these things, then everybody gets behind him. After we're introduced to the Cyber Controller, the whole big scene, well, it's not even a big scene, it's massive talking scene from the Doctor, when he talks for a while about how everything works, and he kind of tries to give a message to Mickey without the Cybermen knowing that he's doing it, which is obviously a great thing. I feel like this, when the Doctor opens his mouth, it begins to create a brilliant speech that comes out of it, and this is very, very well written as a speech. The entire episode really has a lot of brilliant, well written lines, so you can't really fault the dialogue. So again, we go back to that human thing when the Cybermen discover that they are, they're Cybermen, and it kills them. And obviously, which is going into that the thing that I love about this episode, how the Cybermen are presented. They're presented with such beauty that they are, well, not beauty, but they're presented brilliantly that makes them look like they are human, but they've become robots, which is, oh my god, it's brilliant, this episode. So the entire place is going up in explosions, and everything is booming, and the Cybermen standing there with their heads exploding, and the Doctor's running around, and there's fire, and the brilliant tracking shots when they run across the thing. They get into a flipping Zeppelin, for goodness sake, done by Mickey, and then he's flying around on this Zeppelin, escaping as this building is about to explode, and the cyber controller comes up the ladders, and Pete Tyler Sonic's the ladder to kill the cyber controller for his wife that's dead, and then it flies off. So I loved this as a kid, it's, and that's done in a space of a few minutes, for goodness sake. That was such a fueled amount of time. That makes this two-parters pay off so well, and it makes this episode so interesting. It was just that moment. I'm just sitting there like this little, I'm like, oh my god, this is awesome. Right, I need to stop now. I really need to calm the heck down. The message for this episode is that pacing is extremely important for an episode. This episode has brilliant pacing. It's like I just did in the previous clip. I could have named everything that happened from start to finish because it is constantly happening. There is constantly something going on that the audience cares about, and you can't really have a dull couple of minutes, because I felt that when I was watching Logan and stuff, when you would have about 20 minutes of very little happening, and it was a lot of talking and setting up the next battle and that kind of stuff. So this pacing is a lot better, and it really is continuous like this. It keeps hitting you in the face each time. You see that the characters are being, something happens to these characters each time, or the Cybermen, or you find something out, or whatever, and the plot develops each and every time, which makes this entire episode just brilliant to watch, and then watch again, and watch and watch, and never stop watching it. So, thank you guys for watching. This has been DAJ Studios. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Make sure you give it a like. I've kind of just been nerdagazing. Oh god, I can't pronounce words today. I've just been freaking out about this episode, about how much I love this episode for the past 6 minutes. So I'm sorry, but thank you guys for watching. If you did watch this, piece of rubbish. So thank you guys for watching. This has been DAJ Studios. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Make sure you give it a like, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.